What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unsolicited with Sam and Jordyn. I am Sam. This is Super Bowl champion, Sporty Jordy. And we are here today after, of course, a very long 1 week vacation time. But we're back and we have so much to get into. Jordyn, how you doing, babe?
I think I've peaked. I think this is the best I will ever do, ever.
I would agree. Well, no, I wouldn't agree, but I'm saying I understand how you feel.
No, like you can agree. Like it's this, I'm just on cloud 9, and part of me feels like it all hasn't even like fully sunk in yet. Like I keep watching like highlights and videos, and we were talking like just before we started, and this is when we were like, we have to hit record because I've been having the same moments just watching the reactions of everybody and like everyone's interactions with their family. And like I posted a TikTok about it like in the lull between NFC Championship and the Super Bowl, and I was like, I just love this team so much. Like they're all so hungry, like they all want it so bad. So to not only do it, but do it in the fashion that it was done, just life-changing. I will literally never forget that. That's going to be my hands down favorite football game of all time ever.
I mean, first of all, it was the second, and I told you this over text, but the second it started and you guys got like 2 touchdowns ahead, I was like, the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. Like I and like, you could say, oh well, you gotta wait for Patrick, and I'm like, Patrick is a 29-year-old man, human. I think that he's capable of making mistakes, and we saw that. He threw how many? 3 turnovers?
Yeah, there were, I know,
4?
2 interceptions.
Yeah, it was not looking good. Not looking good, but it honestly, and so I was in New Orleans last week for media week. I did get you something, and I want to know if you want to see it now, and I can give it to you when I see you because I like don't trust the mail anymore.
I kind of want to see it.
Okay.
We do a reveal?
Small. Yeah, it's small, but I had to like disguise myself in the store in order to buy it because I couldn't let someone see myself buy it. But I was so convinced that the Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl this year that you get an official Super Bowl towel with the Eagles on it.
Thank you! Are you kidding me?
It's very
Have
cute.
you bought that before the game started?
Yeah, I bought it on Thursday. I was like, the Eagles are winning. I stood by it. I was fully convinced, and everybody was just like, no, the Chiefs. And I'm like, the Chiefs have looked like shit all year.
Yeah.
So next time I see you, you get an official
for my towel.
Eagles Super Bowl towel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was surrounded by Eagle stuff. How could I not? Like, there was so much shit. This was my gift to myself. It's the most absurd t-shirt of all time. It's got so much stuff on it, but they only had it in an XL, and it's an oversized shirt to begin with, so it's literally down to my knees. I had to cut the sleeves because the sleeves were down to here, but I was like, oh, that's so absurd. I need it. So that was my gift to myself.
I absolutely love that. And yeah, before we get into more Super Bowl talk, let's backtrack slightly because we haven't got to talk about Josh Allen winning MVP. We didn't get to hear about your media week and your experiences at all. So let's go in order here and kind of go backwards. First of all, we've talked about it like before it happened, but now that it's done, Josh Allen is NFL MVP. What are your thoughts and feelings?
Well, it was kind of hard to hate him when he and Haley looked so good.
Yeah.
And I don't mean hate in the way that I hate Josh Allen, because if you guys watch the show, big Josh Allen supporter over here. Love Josh Allen. But I was on the Lamar Jackson MVP train. That was the train that I was riding. And obviously that did not happen. I was convinced that Josh Allen would win, but I wanted Lamar Jackson to win. But he and Haley were just so, and they would cut to her and she looked so proud of him. And I was like, how could you not I mean, he is deserving of it. Like, he did work his ass off, but it was, and it's their first time out in public together,
I
like,
know.
carpet, like, at the freaking NFL honors of all places. Yeah. What were your thoughts? Because I know also we both did not agree with the Josh Allen MVP choice.
I'm honestly riding in the same boat where when they announced it, I was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I still laugh at the jokes of the Make-A-Wish MVP votes because, like, if it comes to that, this is what I want to know about the awards in general. Like, what the hell are you basing it off of? Because, like, statistically, it's Lamar Jackson. To me, if we're just picking a player based on how much they contributed a team, then it's to a team, then it's Saquon. But then they pick Josh. And again, Josh Allen had a great, amazing season. This doesn't take away from anything that he's accomplished, but I just didn't think it was his year for MVP. I just thought there were some other candidates that deserved it a little bit more this year. However, with that being said, I had the exact same thing where, like, the moment they called his name, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then I saw him up there, and then I saw all his reactions and his videos to, like, watching the kids at the children hospital that he visited, sending him congratulations, and he remembered each and every kid by name. I was like, "You know what? Give it to him. I'll
No,
sign off on the Make-A-Wish MVP. He really does deserve it. Probably one of the best people in the league. Obviously, I've never met him personally, but that's just the energy. And yeah, honestly, I'm rooting for Haley Steinfeld too because she's just incredible and they looked incredible. Overall, 10 out of 10.
I will say it looked very close. So I actually, one of my coworkers and friends is one of the voters. And he was showing me, so it's public information. It's on the AP website to see how everyone votes. So actually, I didn't know how some of these were, but like Tom Brady's a voter, Teddy Bruschi's a voter, Kay Adams a voter,
Mhm.
couple of Mike Florio, there's a lot of names on here that are well-known names that are voters. But I was talking with my coworker and he was like, it really was 1 and 2, Lamar, Josh, Lamar, Josh,
Mhm.
Josh, 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 Lamar. Like it was so close.
Mhm.
And if you look at the like how everyone voted, there's a few in there that are a little like really? You put
I
Patrick Mahomes at number 3? Really? We put Patrick
that's
Mahomes in there? Like, come on.
I saw one guy have, and it wasn't the names, it was just like how the votes ended up. And it was showing like, or no, it was showing how many votes for like each place each person got. And there was one person that put Lamar in fourth. And
Yeah,
someone was like, this person does not deserve their vote. Like,
I'm seeing a Justin Herbert on here.
like
Um,
to win the award.
no, in like the 4 spot,
Okay.
but still someone did get there's a Jaden Daniels in here. No, all the 1 and 2 spots, they're all, as far as I can see, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Um, but yeah, no, we have a Sam Darnold in here.
Is
Um,
there any Jalen Hurts?
Let me command F here.
I
Jalen
don't know
Hurts.
if he could with the injury.
No. 0. 0. There's a Jamar
Noted.
Chase on here. Um, yeah. Quite quite a bit. But it's just very interesting to see how each voter voted, and they show you like their names and then first, second, third, fourth, fifth place on AP. But overall, just crazy. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to writhe around in pain because
Yes.
Josh Allen is the MVP. Also, shout out to Jared Verse for winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, Albany alum. Go Great Danes. Um, yeah.
Cricket. Cricket.
I
Also,
know
we
you
have to
wanted
talk
the Eagle
about
to win that.
yeah, we have to talk about Joe Burrow winning comeback player of the year. He stood up there and he was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like,
You know what? And he looked great doing it.
he really did. He really did.
Phenomenal.
The man is a fashionista.
It's so beautiful, really. And as someone who's gotten to see him in the flesh, I did not have a single moment to have any sort of conversation with him, but his skin is so clear and he is, well, just it's really hard to put into words, to be quite honest with you, but just know Joe Burrow lovers out there, it lives up to the hype for sure.
It's very rare that me and Sam are left speechless, and trying to describe Joe Burrow in the flesh definitely just left Sam speechless.
And like I just stood there. I didn't do anything. I didn't do the interview. I didn't converse with him at all. Like I literally just stood there and looked at him for 5 minutes
No,
because
that's
I was
entirely
like,
valid.
I don't think my body can do anything else other than just stare at him. So, but no, gorgeous and wonderful human being.
No, but it's like, speaking of the interview that you posted though, like he literally said, like, I deserve MVP. So like
Yeah,
imagine thinking like, oh, I deserve MVP. That's the level I'm at, and then winning comeback player of the year. Like, to me, that's a slap in the face. Especially like, I'm sorry, that was Sam Darnold's award.
I agree. I agree. I mean, Joe Burrow came back from injuries, right? Like, and but he's constantly coming back from injuries.
Yeah.
And I think that it had something to do with the fact that I think it was last year or the year before Joe Flacco won, I
Mhm.
think. And it sparked huge controversies. And like it came back down to the fact that they were like, what constitutes a comeback player? Is it injury? Is it play? Is it like what did Sam Darnold come back from? Being bad? Like that's, like it's that's where I think this huge controversy is now. So I have a feeling from here on out, comeback player of the year will go to the player coming back from an injury and did the best job coming back. When it definitely should be a little bit more broad,
Yeah.
but that's the vibes that I'm getting.
I mean, I do understand it. I just don't agree.
Mhm. Yeah.
I would have gone the other
Overall,
direction.
I
But
did not.
overall, I also did you get to watch NFL Honors at all, or were you still in the midst of I just want to say, I love Snoop Dogg. I did not love Snoop Dogg hosting.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah, no, I didn't have a chance to watch any of it. I was a couple drinks in by that point at a random New Orleans restaurant, but I saw a couple clips like on Twitter and stuff, and like I think I think it's time to put Snoop Dogg to bed.
Yeah.
I think he's done what he needs to do. He's been around forever, for as
Yeah.
long as I think we've been alive at this point,
Mhm.
and take a break, buddy.
Yeah,
It's
or like
fine.
go to the
Chill out.
event, but you don't have to host the event. So you can be a part of it. Of course, Snoop's always invited. But I don't know, and it's not like the jokes that were written were great. It just didn't have the aura.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just and like I don't have anything against Snoop Dogg, but I'm not a fan of his. So like him just being everywhere, I'm like, can we get somebody else
Yeah.
in the mix here? Like honestly, and I don't know if I'm in like an unpopular opinion here. I loved when like Kelly Clarkson did it. Like, I thought that was so fun, and, like, I know she's a Cowboys fan, and she had the Cowboys freaking jersey on and everything by that point, but I think she did a great job, and it
Uh,
was a little bit fresh, you
yes.
know?
Yes. Or like, why don't we have like one of the NFL, like have Kay Adams host it, have Colleen Wolfe host it, like one of the have us host it. Like
Send Sam and Jordyn to the Super Bowl so that we can host the NFL honors.
we would slay hosting NFL honors.
Ollie just, like, literally jumped up the wall. Like, that was terrifying. He was, like, 10 feet in the air. No, not 10, but at least 6 to 7 feet in the air. That really freaked me out. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I saw your face and just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Oh
I
my
saw
god.
your startled eyes.
He jumped. He jumped very high, and it really freaked me out. Anyways, yes, I agree. I think that they should have, who another person that we had the privilege of speaking to this week, hilarious, Cam Jordyn. It
Yeah.
was 8 in the morning. This man had so much freaking energy. Hilarious. Literally just like, and I'm like, perfect. You should do everything. He literally sat there and we first of all just like crapped on the Giants right in front of us, which I was like, you know what? I'll take that. And then he was sitting there and he was just like, you guys don't have Eli anymore. And then he was just like, I used to have Drew Brees. And then he like went silent for a second. And then we like proceeded to start to ask him the next question. He goes, sorry, I was grieving. And I was like, oh, amazing. I love that for you, sir. Like, hilarious. So he's definitely one of the funnier ones. You know, even get Gronk in there for all, you know, like if you need a name.
Yes.
So many different people that could be doing this.
Yes. No, I agree. But oh, you know what? You know who would be the best NFL honors host ever?
Tell me.
Jameis Winston.
Oh, I didn't have a chance to speak to Jameis Winston, but he ran in front of my eyes several times. I don't think he ever sleeps.
No.
I think he was just running around New Orleans all last week, just being Jameis Winston.
Every scroll on my TikTok was Jameis Winston doing another side quest in New Orleans, whether it was being a reporter and interviewing the Chiefs and the Eagles players, or riding a bike with real people on the back and just singing to the streets of New Orleans, or joining like a marching band in the street and casually, I was like, what are you doing? Having the time of his life. And I enjoyed every second of it. Talk about someone who actually should just always have a microphone in their hand. It's Jameis Winston.
It is 100%. Do you see him? Like, I think he was eating beignets and he took like the powdered sugar and like put it on his face like eye black.
No.
Who thinks of that? Jameis Winston does. Hilarious. He did a great job. I hope he just retires and becomes a full-blown correspondent for everything. It makes the most sense.
It's what the people need.
It's what the people need. By the way, who are you wearing your Quignon jersey right now?
Of course I am.
I was curious. I was like looking at it, I'm like, she's got to be wearing the Quignon one, which I'm assuming you were also on Sunday.
Sam, this jersey is quite literally disgusting. I got it for Christmas. Has yet to be washed.
Amazing.
I've worn it for every game since. And at one point, I thought the juju was lost. It was the game against the Rams.
Right.
Because we won, but again, at what cost?
Right,
because we lost Quignon. And then he was coming back for the next game. And I literally made a post. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I was like, do I go with the Quignon? Like, but we can't lose him. But then I was like, we haven't lost since I started wearing it. Yeah. And now it's just everything to me.
Are you ever going to wash it?
I think now after the parade.
Okay.
I'll get through the rest of the Super Bowl season and then we'll give it
Super Bowl season. Oh my God, you're too funny. We were talking.
When I tell you,
yeah, go ahead.
Sam, Philly and New Jersey, because I'm constantly in both. So for those that don't know, I live in South Jersey, but I work in Philly. So I'm all over. There is just the most magical energy. Everyone is like, I pull up to the gas station and the attendant's like, what can I do for you? Go Birds.
Yeah.
Go fucking Birds, man. I'm like a foot away from the door, actually multiple feet away from the door at Wawa. It's being held open for me. They're taking time out of their day to stand there. And I'm like, it's rare that even if I'm on your back, you're going to look behind to hold it open. Like the fact that you're pausing to wait. And then it's just the immediate go Birds. Like everyone's wearing Eagles gear everywhere you look. I don't think I've worn anything but since the Super Bowl, literally nothing.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, it's just pure happiness and joy.
I mean, at least you guys are reaping the benefits of a more peaceful or maybe just nicer Philadelphia. Peaceful, I don't know. You guys are going a little crazy down there, at least earlier this week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's always
going? Like, are people still like raging, or is
no?
That, like,
everyone's hibernating for Friday.
Friday's gonna be crazy.
They closed all the schools in Philly.
I did see a tweet that said that because someone said, like, the next episode of Abbott Elementary is gonna go crazy. Which you
Yes.
still need to watch because you would love it. It is so Philly-centric.
No, I saw so many like tweets and TikToks referencing Eagles stuff around the Super Bowl, and I was like, wow, like this is gonna convince me to watch the show.
It's
Not
so
that like
good.
I have anything against it. I just I'm weird with shows. I've talked about it on here. I can only watch things that I've watched previously. I
Yes.
have a hard time starting new things.
The only time I ever start new things is when Michael sits me down and we, like, watch
Yes.
something,
Yes.
and I'm like,
Brian literally
"Okay."
texted me last night and was like, "Can you pick a movie for me?" And I was like, "No, that's literally your job." Like,
Unless you wanna watch Tangled, like,
yeah.
no.
Oh my god.
No, literally, I can't watch anything, but you once you actually sit down and start watching that show, you're gonna like it.
I know, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I
it's gonna
cannot
be
wait.
but should we switch gears or should we just keep going Super Bowl here?
Let's go Super Bowl for a little longer because
Alright.
I still have some things that I need to hit on. One, the conversation that we now need to have
Yes.
is the Jalen Hurts conversation because ha 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 haters, not Sam. I know Sam respects Jalen Hurts.
I
I know she
do.
doesn't like the Eagles and she won't outwardly admit the respect all of the time, but I know it's there. So this is not directed at Sam in any way, but it is directed at whoever is listening to this who has talked shit on Jalen Hurts, who will not respect Jalen Hurts, who is going to put all these other quarterbacks above Jalen Hurts. What the hell are you going to do now? Well, he has outplayed Patrick Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls, won one of them, now a Super Bowl MVP. You know who isn't? Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, guys that I love, athletes that I respect and I think are extremely talented individuals. However, Jalen Hurts is not in these conversations with these guys. And I am here to ask you why. So look inward. That's my quarterback. I would die for him. It has been the most emotional roller coaster to get here because, hello, even the way we drafted Jalen Hurts, like, we were not supposed to take a quarterback. We had our quarterback. There were things going on behind closed doors that we didn't know about yet. Howie, the brilliant magician that he is, saw the future and went, no, I'm going to save us right here. And ever since has just been collecting Avengers. And then we beat Patrick Mahomes in reality 40-6. The other two were just complete garbage time. Like
Yeah.
zero blitzes. And yet he was constantly on the ground. Like, it was just the most wonderful experience of my life. And I'm just going to be insufferable when it comes to Jalen Hurts now, because anytime someone tries to like compare, I'll just be like, because the argument always was, well, he won't win the big game. And so it's like,
What now?
what now?
I will say and I told you this before we started. I've been seeing so much, Eagles content everywhere, and it's like genuinely making me emotional. And if this literally were any other team, I would probably become a pseudo fan of them. Like it literally, it's hard, like you said, like the people on this team, it's really hard to hate them.
Yes.
And obviously, everyone kept asking me, they were like, "Oh, how do you feel about Saquon? How do you feel about Saquon?" I'm so happy for him. Like, genuinely, think about it. Take yourself out of the fucking NFL for a second. Great person, deserves the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he got that. His family literally makes my chest hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They are so beautiful, and you could tell how much love is like in their family.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He deserved a Super Bowl ring, and he got that, and it wasn't with the Giants. And you know what? I can't be mad about that because we didn't utilize him correctly, and you guys did. And that's the bottom line.
And that's what he actually, did you get to watch Fallon at all last night with him
I've watched clips of it, not the full thing, but like several clips of it.
Because Jimmy Fallon, the two of them were just, you could tell Jimmy was trying to like poke fun, and they were just the most respectful. Like, they're also probably fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like,
I don't know how they're still functioning. I saw a clip of Jalen this morning on another talk show, and someone quoted it. It was like, this man just wants to go home. Like, he is so tired.
Please.
But they tried, like, they showed the clip of the Giants having the conversation of like, oh, Chicago's rising up the price. It seems like Eagles are out. And then the Giants, was it their owner who was like, I'm going to have a tough time sleeping if he goes to Philly. So they brought that up, and he was like, how does that make you feel? And he was like, it's okay. Like, And just like the way he handled it, and he was like, I still love and respect like all the guys from New York. And he was like, but now I'm an Eagle and I want to be great as an Eagle. Like, just again, stand up person.
Yeah, if he's running around going, fuck New York, fuck this,
Yeah.
fuck that, then obviously I'd be a little salty about it. Since he's left New York, has not said a single bad thing. I think the worst thing he did was that commercial. And even then, I was laughing at that
Yes.
because I'm not part of the Giants organization. They're fucking delusional at this point. Like, it's just the if people are mad at Saquon, for what? He didn't ask to leave.
No, I don't think
He
he
didn't
ever would
request
have
a
left.
trade. He would have stayed if we gave him the money, but we didn't. We let him go, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna go find my worth somewhere else then." And that's what he did. And it just happened to be with a division rival. So, as a Giant, people don't believe me. As a Giants fan, it's time to get over it. Get over the hump. We're here now. They're Super Bowl champions. He's Super Bowl winner. It's time to move on. All right. Let's focus on ourselves for once. We have a draft coming up. We have the 3rd overall pick, and we're going to screw it up most likely. I can't even, it's like actually makes me heated, this team. But anyways, also, I just want to say Jalen Hurts, written by a woman.
Absolutely.
I said this to my boss earlier today, and she was like, could not have explained it better.
Yeah.
The fashion, the demeanor, the smile. He doesn't drink.
No.
He doesn't drink. I found that out yesterday. Oh my God. Written by a woman.
Yeah, no. At his all-female management team.
How can you hate him?
You genuinely can't. That's why I'm like, it's literally, oh wait. There's a tweet that explains this person perfectly.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts is the first man ever to experience misogyny.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw it on your story.
I reposted it. I was like, this is the most beautiful tweet I've ever seen. Because it's so true. I was literally going to compare him to everything that's going on with Taylor Swift, which is one of our next topics.
Yeah.
But it's just like he's just out there doing his thing. Like, he doesn't give a shit about anything except playing football and winning football games. Like,
the line that he had where he said, I had a purpose before people had opinions. I was like, I cannot disrespect you, sir. I can't hate you. I can't disrespect you. You're a Super Bowl MVP. Like, there's no argument against him anymore. Yeah. The only person I will continue to hate on is Nick Sirianni. And even at that point, I don't even have a case anymore because he just won the fucking Super Bowl.
That was literally going to be my next question. I was like, I need your updated thoughts on Nick Sirianni right now.
You got to give credit where credit is due. But I still just, and that's the thing. It's like people be like, oh, you're a Giants fan. You like the Eagles. No, but individual players, sure, they're talented, they're genuine people. I don't feel that way about Nick Sirianni, and I don't know if that'll ever change unless he shows me something else. So I'll stand on that hill if that continues to make me a hater. But I will, props where props to do. You got him. You went to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, and you just won against Patrick Mahomes. I get it.
Yeah, I've had a toxic relationship with Nick Sirianni. Just because I was so unsure when we hired him. Like, he was one of the candidates I didn't know anything about. I can't remember exactly who I wanted at the time, but I remember when I got the notification that we hired Nick, I was like, a white man? No! It was not who I wanted. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And so I started doing research into him. Like, think how far we've come since the rock, paper, scissors outbreak. Like,
the Flowers thing. I remember when the whole Flowers speech. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, who was top of the list in 2021 head coaching? Eric Bieniemy.
Yes. I wanted him. Campbell. Was Deuce? Is Deuce up there?
I'm looking. I don't see his name.
I feel like that was another issue that I wasn't happy with because he was on our.
Yes, he is.
I think I wanted him or Eric Bieniemy, and that's why I was so pissed when they were like, "Oh, here's Nick Sirianni," and I was like, "Who?" But listen, we are like 16-1 since Baldini showed up. And like
Baldini.
You know what? He showed up. We were 2-2 off of a bye week in like the newborn phase of the, like, I hadn't even processed that the NFL was back and the Eagles had their bye week. We were 2-2. I was so overwhelmed. And so I was like, what the hell is going on right now? And they figured it out. And I think at this point, like, Nick has earned, like, and again, who knows in the moment, because Philly fans are very passionate. And if you're not winning, we want you dead. Like, but I feel like Nick has earned enough of my trust now where I'm like, I know you will be able to figure it out, because like, we also have to think about it. And now Kellen Moore is officially the new head coach of the Saints. That's going to be Jalen's 4th offensive coordinator and 5th or 6th play caller in 5 years with the Eagles. And Nick has been the only constant. And no matter what, things haven't been perfect. They've been ugly, but we're a winning organization. And then we get better. And now we belt to ass whoop the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like, so I'm just going to sit back and let it happen.
So let me ask you something. I know, like, this year, the Chiefs definitely, all of this year, did not look good.
Yeah.
Do you think that this puts that fuel in and they come back and try to be like last year's Chiefs again? Like, do you think that they have the opportunity now to kind of like bounce back a little bit, or do you think that they are on a downhill spiral?
No, because Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. And like, he showed us that, like, even if Travis did retire this offseason, which after that performance, I don't think he's going to. But well, that's another, we'll get into that. But no matter what, it's Patrick Mahomes. I think the conversation will come up again whenever Andy Reid decides to move on from coaching. Like,
that'll
separating that
Yes.
dynamic is going to definitely shift things, but it's still Patrick Mahomes. And I said it right after the win. I was like, they just came into that so cocky and confident because they've been here. They got comfortable. Like, that was the energy.
Absolutely.
Like, they just came in expecting to beat us. And it was a very hungry, motivated Philadelphia Eagles team in a stadium that obviously I wasn't there, but holy shit, that was a home game. Like,
100%.
Like, just the energy, like, we had everything in our favor, and it seemed like they got rocked and then just like literally could not bounce back. I saw a clip, the Patrick Mahomes highlights, like, posted by the NFL.
2-3 minutes, right?
Remaining in the third quarter, they're down 34-0, and that's when his highlight tape starts.
Oh, it starts in the third quarter?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he didn't even show up till the second half.
Yeah, like, so I definitely think they just came in confident, but I 100%, I'm not worried about, like, Patrick. He's still Patrick Mahomes even after that performance. So I do think we should all be a little scared for next year. But I think now's a good time to start talking about the Kelces a little bit, because
before we get into that, do you
yes.
care if we just talk real quick about the halftime show?
No, I would actually love to.
Because we were both on the same page because we were texting each other throughout the game. So many people hated it. I did not. Jordyn did not. We actually really liked it. I like Kendrick a lot, and I love SZA. So seeing that, and there were so many things that went over people's heads, and it was just such a there was a lot there. You have to watch it several times to like actually hear every single little thing that Kendrick's talking about and the symbolism and everything. And people were like, "Oh, it was so boring, you know, I didn't know all the songs." Sorry.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't meant for you.
I absolutely love Kendrick, love his music. And I just thought the whole thing, to even take out like everything that he stood for, which I also thought was phenomenal. But Just the whole performance itself. It was just unreal. It was such a vibe. SZA was amazing. I don't think her mic was on, but I don't know if it usually is for.
You
Did
don't
you
think it
get
was
that
on?
vibe? I didn't think it was on.
Oh, I thought that shit was turned up.
Really? Okay. Okay.
Oh, I think that's how she just sounds.
Well, then and I've heard her. I've never seen her live, but like I've seen other live performances, and that's not a dig at her because I know how talented she is. But, and again, that just could be a testament to how talented she is. But there was a part where I was like, I don't know if this is on, and maybe it was just for a second.
Well, yeah, I mean, there might have been some sort of backtrack at some point, but I think I would bet that she was singing live, and
I will take your word for it.
She sounds so incredible.
No, and everything. Fucking Serena Williams out there doing the crip walk.
I literally said, was that Serena Williams? And everyone that I was with was like, no. And I was like, I think that was Serena Williams.
Yes.
20 minutes later, we're like, that was Serena Williams. And it's because I heard the information Michael told me that Drake tried to date Serena Williams and failed miserably. And she was just like, get the fuck away from me. And she's actually mentioned in Not Like Us. And that's why she was there.
That's crazy. No, I really loved the whole performance. And again, like it's such a wide range of audience watching the Super Bowl. Like you are never going to be able to please everybody. Like there's just not one artist that our grandparents and the teenagers and everyone in between are going to resonate with. It just doesn't happen.
No. And it never will.
No.
It never will.
There's been probably a few, but I bet they weren't even like I can think Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Beyonce, I feel like was a pretty universally liked one. No,
I think there was several people within the world that did not want to see Beyonce.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I love Beyonce,
yes.
and I think like I would say most people definitely liked it, but there's always going to be
haters. Yeah.
I loved the Beyonce one too, and I love that she like the power fucking went out afterwards. I thought that was hilarious.
I know, fucking Beyonce.
I love like the Bruno Mars one. I feel like there's like a lot of like weirdness around it because it was like with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I thought that one was a lot of fun.
No, I like that. I feel like the only one that I really haven't enjoyed, I didn't love J-Lo. I love Shakira. I didn't love J-Lo.
That's because Shakira is better than J-Lo. And she,
yes,
you know, did such a better job than her. But yes, I would agree. I think that they had like the vision was there, but they should have just done Shakira.
Yes.
But yeah.
Agree.
Overall,
yes.
I have looked into tickets to go see Kendrick and SZA at MetLife Stadium. The tickets are astronomically higher now, obviously, but we'll see if that price drops a little bit before May.
That's hysterical. I hope it does.
Well, we'll see. We will see. But speaking of Kendrick, makes us think of our girl, Taylor Swift, of course. So I'm interested to hear because we went very generic here. I have something in my brain. What were your thoughts about? I think there's so much happening.
Yes.
It's like, where do we start?
Here are like the three big ones that come to mind.
Okay.
One, I just want to go over her getting booed because I think it's being blown out of proportion and it's just stupid. It's point blank stupid on all fronts. Whatever. Okay. So that we want to talk about. I want to talk about, did you see that like apparently she left, which like this didn't, again, I think all of this is being blown out of proportion, but apparently like she left the game before it was official, like with like a few minutes left. Okay. And so I'm thinking like, okay, obviously for security reasons.
Right.
But then there's a photo of her like getting on her plane like very short after, and she's like covered in umbrellas, like didn't want anyone to see her walking on the plane. So everyone's like, was she upset? Like what was the vibe? So like that could be weird, but again, like I don't think her leaving the stadium when they're down by that much, like Gatorade was already poured. Yeah. Like she's Taylor Swift. She can't just be walking through the stadium. Like, and it's not like she's going to the field. Like you don't do that after a loss.
I definitely feel like people are blowing a lot of things out of proportion, including the booing.
Yes.
I believe, not that I believe, I know what happened, that it was filled with Eagles fans.
Yes.
And they're booing Taylor Swift because she's there for Travis-Kelce. And of course, people just hate Taylor Swift. So it's like
Yes.
the correlation is there. And the look that she had on her face was her not realizing that I don't think she realized she was on the screen and people were booing her until she looked up and was just like, "Oh, they're talking about me." And like took her a second to be like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" And everyone was just like, "Oh, she never been booed before." The girl's been in the music industry for how many years now? She's for sure been booed before. It's not her first time.
Kanye West jumped on stage to rob her. And then when everyone was cheering for her, she thought they were cheering for him and they all wanted her. Like, girl's been through it. She does not give a fuck. And I also heard from another perspective, there was an Eagles reporter there that was just like, guys, every single Chiefs fan, like Paul Rudd, everyone that they're putting on the screen is getting booed. And so
Yeah.
everyone's just taking it out of context because it's Taylor. And that's 100% what it was. It was Eagles fans booing everyone. She may have gotten the biggest because, yeah, men can be a little insecure when it comes to a powerful female.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, she doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. I am curious what the plane situation was. But again, I just think everything about her is getting blown out of proportion right now. So
Yeah.
I'm not even going to think too much into it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add a fourth topic in. Before
Okay.
I hit my third, I'm also going to say anyone who thought that if the Chiefs won, that Travis would have proposed to her on the field is fucking delusional.
So stupid. Why would they do that?
In what world would they do that?
People, I think, are so like they're putting their relationship in like this little bubble and they're just anticipating that they're this almost like a Hallmark movie. Like,
Yes.
they made this Hallmark movie, so they're like, obviously they're living a Hallmark movie life. What literally to like still a pretty private person despite now coming out and doing a lot of stuff. There's so much we don't know about her.
No.
He's obviously in tuned with that. So why in the world would Travis go, "We're going to win the Super Bowl and then I'm going to propose to Taylor on the if you thought that, you're stupid. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm not gonna hold back on that. That's such a stupid thought to have.
No, and that's what, like, any person who I've heard say that, I was like, you don't know a single thing about her, and that's okay, but, like, close your mouth because there's no world where that ever would have happened. I honestly, part of me truly believes that they are already engaged, or at least
Oh
have
yeah.
already had that conversation. Like, I don't know if when whether it's happened or not. Like, I don't think it's going to be this big public thing initially. Obviously, we will find out down the road. Like, but I think it's going to be pretty hush hush.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see when the time comes. But yeah, there was no shot that was happening. And then my final point with all of this, is not at Taylor Swift. It's at the fucking Swifties who have now been sucked into Chiefs Kingdom because of Taylor's relationship with Travis. And listen, I welcome any girl watching football with open arms. I am so happy that all of you guys are here. However, we need to be humbled a little bit because you guys entered the Chiefs Kingdom in the middle of their dynasty. They are going to lose games, and that's okay. They're going to lose big games and they're going to sometimes look really bad. And we have to be okay with that because that is football and everyone else goes through it constantly. And just the shit talking and like talking so much shit about them giving an Eagles congratulatory post after the Super Bowl on the New Heights, to the point that they had to take it down as if Jason isn't the mayor of Philadelphia and spent his entire career here. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me.
That was my big thing. And it wasn't even having to do just with Taylor. My big thing was bullying the New Heights podcast admin into deleting that tweet. And
Yes.
I've also heard the other side of it was that I think Jason was like in the graphic or something. And
Mhm.
Jason was like, I was not on this team. I should not be in this graphic. And that's why it was deleted. That might have been part of it if that was the case. But if that were the case, I think they would have redone it and reposted it. And that was
Exactly.
not the case. And I'm like, again, I reiterate your entire, thought process there with saying I love women watching football, and it
Mhm.
makes me so happy to see people here, even if they do just want to watch a game to see Taylor Swift for half a second. I love that. It's
Yes.
perfect. But just because the red team doesn't win doesn't mean we have to like you 2 seconds ago everyone was crying about Jason Kelsey retiring. Now all of a sudden we're like, oh, we're gonna put Jason's team on a pedestal and they're freaking out. Like I really was not okay with that, like, at all, and it really made me upset because you see how emotional Jason is all the time. He cried on this week's podcast again because he feels, like, so bad, and I'm like, "What do you feel bad for, Jason? Like, that was your team. Kylie is literally the queen of Delco. You guys are Philadelphia Eagles fans. You support Travis, and that was made so, so clear that they were going to support Travis in the Super Bowl, no
Yes.
matter what. That's your brother or your brother-in-law. But as a team, that's his, and it wasn't even just like, oh yeah, we're fans. He played on that team for how many years? 13 years?
Yes.
I was just I really, really, really like Jason Kelsey, and I do not like to see him get upset about things like
No.
that. So I was not okay with that.
And, like, guys, it's just common sense. Like, no, duh, he's gonna want the Eagles to win, but is he going to be mad that his brother and best friend also want? No, like, no matter what, he was just rooting for the game the same way that I'm sure, I mean, Kylie was obviously leaning more with the Eagles, but, like, the same way that she respected Travis after they beat us the first time. Like, it's just
Right,
the
it
fact
goes
that he has
both
to
ways.
explain it and people aren't get like, I'm like, this is common sense. Like, why are we making this? And again, everything surrounding them is just becoming such a big deal anymore. And I think it's just because they've been so in the media. And again, not even by choice for them. Like everyone's just talking about them. But then they obviously have new heights, and Jason has his show, and like Travis is obviously in season. Taylor's honestly, things have been fairly
Pretty quiet.
quiet since the Eras Tour ended, minus her like going out and about a few times. But yeah, I just feel like it's kind of that media over saturation that everyone's just sick of them and like ripping them apart for anything. Which honestly, the one positive that we can take from that is this is setting up Reputation Taylor's version beautifully.
I and that was the other thing. People were just like, "Well, Taylor was gonna announce Reputation after the Super Bowl." No, she wasn't.
No.
You think her marketing and her entire Taylor's version campaign is getting based around the Super Bowl? She didn't even know the Super Bowl existed 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No,
She's
I'm
like,
just
holy
kidding. She
shit, this is
definitely knew the
fun.
Super Bowl existed, but I'm just saying, like, she didn't give a fuck.
She didn't care that the Super Bowl she also they asked her to host this halftime show multiple times, and she was like,
She's like,
"No."
"No. Why would I do
Yeah.
that?"
I'm literally on the top of my game. I do not need this right now.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely so ridiculous, but yeah. Check yourselves at the door. Um, also process the fact that everybody that we're speaking about, I know we're talking about them in this way, but they're all people,
Yes.
right? Like they're just people living their lives. So let's maybe take a step back for half a second and be like,
Yes.
okay, leave them
Just
alone.
let them live. And it makes me so sad because like as and I know we're in the same boat here, like as lifelong Taylor Swift fans that are also lifelong NFL fans, like this is supposed to be so fun. Like I was so excited and I'm like now I feel guilty all the time. Like because then I have the Swifties mad at NFL people and then NFL people hating the Swifties and I'm just both sitting in the middle like oh, I'm
It
gonna
is
freak out. Like
it is literally so tough to be an NFL Swiftie. Let me
yes.
tell you. As like two
An OG,
diehards.
an OG NFL Swiftie.
Right, like 2 separates that you felt very, very strongly about coming together. Like, when this started happening, Jordan and I were like, "This isn't real."
No.
Like, the fact
My
that our
bio
2 pieces of personality came together.
my bio since I made my TikTok is let's talk sports and Taylor Swift. Like this is that was years before Travis was even, that's when we thought she was secretly married to Joe. Like, this is like my wildest dreams, pun intended, come true. And everyone's taking the joy out.
Yeah. Well, crazy to think too. I literally was thinking about it. I was like, oh my God, I have nothing to do this weekend. And
No,
football's just over.
it's over.
It's over. Now we have to wait like 2 months before the draft. Now I have to hyperfixate on the draft for 6 weeks.
Now it's time.
Okay.
It's time to catch up on the books now that football's done.
I think we're probably going to go over an hour here.
Okay.
And because I think we have to talk about Iron Flame first. We
didn't talk about Iron Flame yet?
You didn't finish it the last time we spoke on the podcast. So we need to discuss it for the people, because literally I think the last thing, I don't even remember the last thing that you were talking about in Iron Flame, but you were not finished. You finished it after our episode.
Oh yeah, because Sam's literally at Media Week texting me a selfie with Justin Jefferson, and I'm like, oh my God, but Iron Flame, like,
fuck Jack Barlow.
Like,
she was like, I know you're busy, but fuck Jack Barlow. And I was like, girl, I always have time for a fuck Jack Barlow text. Okay, so let's just quickly go over Iron Flame before we delve into Onyx Storm, which I've added to the shelf. I finished it, and it's got a big old what the fuck for me. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. But tell me your
I want no spoilers. I want no spoilers for Onyx, because I'm like halfway through.
I will not say a single thing. I will only listen.
Okay.
But please tell me first how you thought as you ended Iron Flame.
Iron Flame ended, and I was like crying, and then I was like scared, and then I was like, what the fuck? And it just like ended, and I sat there and I was like, well, and I literally just texted Brian like a bunch of emojis, and I sent like a smiling face, a gun, a heartbroken, like the dizzy eye emoji, and he goes like, was it good? And I was like, yes, but no, like it was just so crazy. So yeah, I texted you the fuck Jack Barlow when he just all of a sudden
was alive.
Also, spoilers, obviously.
Yeah. If you guys don't know by this point, we're talking this book. Come on now.
We're going deep.
Yeah.
He just was all of a sudden alive, and I was like, okay, sure. Like, where did that come from? And I was just so confused, because I was like, what do you mean they were like putting him back together? I was like, is he a zombie? Like, I was like, what? Little did I know. So then that freaked me out. And then shit was just getting weird. And I said this in the voice memo to you. I wanted to punch Violet square in the head, because these venom kept coming out of nowhere and being like, he's coming for you. And it just went whoop until like 15 times in. And then she was like, wait, what do you mean he's coming for me? And I was like, bitch, I'm like, you're so smart and badass and amazing in so many ways. How are you not picking up on this? So finally she did. And I don't really know at all yet what that really meant. And then obviously the ending, holy shit. I'm just having so many overwhelming thoughts in terms of her mom and like how I'm supposed to feel in regards to her mom. And honestly, I was getting that throughout that book. Like there were a couple of lines that she had where I was like, damn, like she's misunderstood, like the way she talks about her kids and like the things that she was doing for them. I was like, you're not evil. But then I'm like, but then you murdered everyone's family. So I'm like very confused. And I think there's more to it, especially now. We'll get into Onyx Storm a little bit, but she knows there are journals that her dad left for her, and she read the first one, and then she just went to get the other 6 or whatever. So I don't know what's in those yet, but like she knows things are happening. And obviously with like the mom's comments at the end of like, I can finally be with him again, like just shows how much she loved their dad, which like Violet questioned a lot in the beginning, like even Fourth Wing, when she was like, why are you forcing me to go to the writer's quadrant? Like you're denying me of a scribe when like you loved a scribe. Like, so she like questioned everything. So that just made me super emotional. And then she just fucking died. And I was like, are you kidding me? And so that was devastating. And then all of a sudden, dun, 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 Xaden is Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
it's frustrating me in this book a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand your feelings for Onyx Storm. First of all, I cried so hard when Violet's mom died, and it was like I was inconsolable. I had to put the book down because I
Yes.
was like ruining the book.
And also
And
because I was just picturing like Brennan never got to make up with her. Like,
it's so many like paths that just were never like ended, like
yes.
it just, and obviously Sloane feels horrible
She said,
about it.
yeah, she had one comment to her in Onyx Storm where she was like, I just need you to know that like wasn't revenge. And I was like, slow.
Yeah, you're like she needed Violet to know that she did not kill her mother on purpose because
Yes.
Liam is dead. And I really like Sloane. But
I'm
it was
sorry. And I knew I would, but she was such a pesky brat in the
in
last one, which like I understand. Like
yeah.
again, I knew she was young and feisty and I was gonna like her, but I was like,
But she definitely her character arc is arcing for
yay.
sure. But Iron Flame was also okay. So also, I would love to hear your thoughts on the Fourth Wing and Iron Flame comparison, because that's the two that I was going with until Onyx Storm came out, and Fourth Wing was very slow. I think Iron Flame was so jam packed with stuff that I was lost half the time.
Yes. Yes. I'm loving this series, but this is a 4-star fantasy series for me. And I love the relationship between Xaden and Violet, but it's just like, there's not as much like context. Like fantasy, you need that slow world building to like understand the gravity of the situation. And I feel like that's what this is lacking. And it's fun and it's amazing. And I'm enjoying every second of it. But it's definitely not like a 5-star
I agree.
series, if that makes sense.
No, I fully agree, and that's how I felt after I read the first book, because I was like, I've heard such high praise for it, and I think my expectations were set very high, but also at the same time, I was like, I do like this book, and I will continue to read these books, and I will read this series in full for
Yes.
sure. And I love the characters that are in it. I empathize with some of the characters in it. I don't feel the same way about Xaden and Violet as I did about, like, Feyre and Rhys.
Mhm.
Like, I felt like I was a part of that, and I don't feel the same way with that, and my joke through the whole, and this is not a spoiler at all, with Onyx Storm, was that I was like, "I know we have some pressing issues happening with Xaden right now, but he's gotta lighten the fuck up." And
Yes.
I like, I'm like, I get it. He's supposed to brood. That's his thing. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yes.
Figure it
No,
out.
it's just getting a little like dramatic. And
Yeah.
I think Rebecca yours, and like this makes sense now because I remember we looked it up on here. We were like, does she have any other fantasy books? And she has
No,
other books that aren't fantasy. And so
correct.
I think that's what we're getting, because the way Xaden and Violet talk to each other when they're actually fucking talking is wonderful. And like, I do like the relationship that she's made with like the friends, and I like the like, I like that everyone kind of has skeletons in their closet that you're like figuring out as you go. I think there is really good character development. However, I just think it's missing more of like the intricacies of like the world building and like the history to make it that like phenomenal monster. And again, like seriously wish I read this before any Sarah J. Maas series. And I
Yes.
told my friends, I was like, if you were looking for a good, like easy, fun, dramatic, intense fantasy to like get you into fantasy, it's this. It's perfect.
Yes. And I think that is why Erin feels so strongly about it, because this was the first series she read. to get like into the romantasy fantasy genre.
And that makes
And
so much sense.
she loves it. And she still loves it. And I won't like I really enjoy reading these books. But throughout Onyx Storm, I will say something about Onyx Storm that clicked in my brain, and again, this is not a spoiler, it's just the way that it's written. We all know at this point now, Fourth Wing is going to become a TV show, like the Empyrean series or whatever. I read Onyx Storm, and it was very visual for me, and I feel like I was really able to like see where we were, and I feel like, and I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but I do feel like it's getting adapted a bit into a more screenplay type of writing so that it is easily adaptable for television. And I did not feel that way about Iron Flame at all.
No, I agree. There were parts that I had a really tough time visualizing a lot in Iron Flame. And I was just like, how'd we get here? And then I felt like there were moments where things would pop up and I would be like, I don't remember this. Is this the first time I'm hearing of it? Like, am I supposed to know what this is? Like, it just felt a little quick. And then I felt like there was
that Onyx Storm too, though.
I just, again, like this is her first fantasy series and fantasy is hard.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my lips are turning like literally blue from my Gatorade. If you're a visual watcher, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
But no, yeah. And again, I'm seriously enjoying it. It's fun. But you know, it's definitely, and again, like I just read Throne of Glass, which like there are parts of Throne of Glass where you're reading it and you're like, and this is no spoilers, where you're just like, it's so much world building and you're just like, what's going to come of this? Like, where it's so slow and it's like a little confusing at times because it's like every detail matters. And I was like, why? But then it all
makes sense. Yeah.
But this is definitely very different. I want to say something, but I feel like it may get me canceled.
No. You have to say it now.
I feel like this series for romantasy is like when you start reading Colleen Hoover books for romance to like get into reading, because like I remember thinking,
I can see what you that
right, and I do not mean I know there's a lot of controversy about Colleen Hoover. Is Colleen Hoover the best writer? No. Does she have some weird storylines and some weird things? Yes, for sure. But are her books good for the purpose that they're supposed to serve, which is they're entertaining and they make you feel things and that's all it is? Like, yes, like they're fun. And like when you're in a reading slump or if you're just getting into reading or getting back into reading, they're perfect. But literally like how you mentioned that this was the first series that Erin read and she's super attached to it. Like I remember when I read It Ends With Us and Ugly Love and I was like, these are the best books I'm ever going to read in my life, just because I took such a hiatus from reading and then came back.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, they sucked. Like,
I mean, I feel the same way.
And I do not think this sucks. I really don't. I think this is good. This is very good, but it's just not great.
Where are you at in the book right now?
They literally, things just went fucking absurd. I was literally reading like up until we hopped on. I'm on page 240 right now.
Fuck. You're cruising.
I'm cruising.
Oh my
God. They are with Cortland and Xaden just oh my God, wielded, even though there's no magic, and like hewed his venom shit to because they were starting to attack Violet. Violet got cut and she was like, I'm literally fine. And he was like, no, I'm going to kill everyone in this room. And then he did. And then his eyes were red and she was like, put your fucking head down, you idiot. Like,
that was when they were saving Halden, right?
Yes. Who?
Fuck that guy.
Him. Literally, he sucks. I hate him. I love Auric, Cam, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But
and Riddick.
I love Riddick. Riddick's comedic timing. I'm forgetting his name right now. Who was the funny character in Quicksilver?
Oh, fuck. Oh, I can picture him in my brain.
Right?
He was a ginger. Something with a C.
Yes. And it was a weird name. And I remember texting you and I was like, am I supposed to like him?
I have to look it up. It's going to hurt me.
But Riddock gives me vibes from him.
Okay. Carrion.
Carrion.
Yes. Yes. So yes, 100% same vibes there. No, I don't think we got enough Riddick in the first two books. Like
No.
Riddick is taking a big role in Onyx Storm, and I'm every time he talks, I'm like, please just give me a whole book of Riddick just talking. I'm like obsessed with him.
I loved the moment where he like stood up for himself and he was like, I'm not just the funny friend. Like, I will die for you. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I was like, you know what? You're a real one.
Where are you at in terms of Sawyer's recovery?
He's like just starting to like hang around with them again.
Okay.
And he went from a wood piece to a metal piece. And like he's around. And I remember Violet saying, like, it felt good to just have him like laughing with us. Like it almost feels normal.
Yeah. I
But I'm
like the
interested.
character.
There's nothing more with him and Justina right now, like yet, because that was kind of at the end of Iron Flame. He was like
Mm,
into her, and they
right.
seem to have a vibe.
Yeah.
But that hasn't seemed to resurface yet. I'm missing. I never know how to say her name. Imogen.
I say Imogen.
Imogen. I miss her. I'm missing her a lot.
I can see that. I
I
can see
like
that, yeah.
her.
First half of that book is really Imogen-less.
Yes. Oh my
Um,
god. And they're just banter. They can be so annoying.
yeah, I think that was the thing too. It's just like it was a lot of Zayd and Violet, and they were all like, "Oh, are you okay? Oh, are you okay? Oh, I'm gonna kill everyone for you. Oh, I'm gonna kill everyone for you. Oh, what we can't have sex, and we're also sexually frustrated." And, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, just do it at this. Like, who cares?
Do it, or how about we focus on your world that is literally ending? Like, get on your funk ass dragon and do things. Like, I'm like, I don't care about your fucking relationship drama right now.
I
Like,
know, yeah. It's like it gets a little like played out. It's like in the beginning, if that's how you are, great. But like we need to grow as a couple a little
we're
bit.
on book 3. Like, let's learn how to communicate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because
Um,
also the one of the biggest question marks I had from the end, and I know we're really over, we're gonna wrap up in the next 3 here, but was Xaden being like, oh no, I fucking know this Sage. Yeah, he's here for me, don't you worry. And then we just like haven't even like I'm like, excuse me, like what? And then I know we've discussed potential theories. I definitely think one or both of their fathers are still in play here. I don't know to what extent, but there's just too much weird shit. And now,
mm,
like Violet's dad is like leaving her. They met the woman, Norel, and she put her through. And she was like, "These books are literally for you." And Mira was like,
oh yeah,
"What?"
Mira got
Like,
pissed.
yeah. And Violet's still like, I don't even know 100% why this is for me, but like it's specifically written to Violet. So
Mhm.
we shall see. It was so awkward when she was like, "Oh, you must be Dane." And I was like, "Oh."
I know that part had me. I was like literally. So I read probably 200 pages on the plane there and 200 pages on the plane back. Like that's how I finished this book in this amount of time. And when that happened, I was like on the plane and I literally went, whoop, and I like shut the book and I was like, oh, we did not just ask Zayden if he was like the worst. I think that's his worst nightmare, apart from like Violet dying, is him being mistaken for for
Yeah,
Dane.
100%. And it was so funny too, because it was right after like they just got to Corden where there's no, or was it? Are they in Corden?
Bitch, I don't know where they were ever.
Yeah, there's somewhere where
The
there's no
Isles.
magic.
The
Yeah, the
Isles,
Isles.
yeah.
There's no magic, and so Zayden's not feeling all his. So he's like,
He's like
he was like,
happy.
"Oh, did you guys like ride horses together growing up?" And everyone was like,
The fuck?
"What?" I literally laughed out loud. Brian was like, "Are you giggling?" I was like, "This is funny.
This
Like
is
they're being
funny.
funny." And then it turned so quickly, and I was like, "Oh, they're never gonna be friends again." Like,
Oh. Yeah, I know it was like half a moment where I was like, "Oh, are Xaden and Dane gonna like actually like coexist with one another?"
yes, I thought there was gonna be
No.
like a bromance or something. Like, I thought they were gonna be friends, and I was like, "Yes, yes, yes." And then so quickly it was like, nope, absolutely not. And now Zayden's back to being really fucking annoying.
I'm so excited for you to like finish this book so that we can like talk about the series like as a whole, because I don't think we're getting book 4 until 2027
That's what I heard as well. So
because she's taking a break.
which like how?
She wants to spend time with her family.
How
Which I
dare she?
respect, but also, bitch,
I was gonna say.
just wait till you finish this book. You're gonna be like, how the fuck am I supposed to wait?
No, literally insane. But guys, it feels so good to be back. It also feels so amazing to be a world champion. If you loved this episode, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us here on the YouTube channel. Guys, we don't know where it's coming from. We are loving all the subscribers right now. We are so happy to have you all here.
Yes,
and the
thank you.
quicker that we get to our 600 goal, the quicker we are to another live episode. So definitely make sure to subscribe. We are also available wherever you get your audio podcast as well. And as always, be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at the _podcast and on Twitter at Sam and Jordyn. Go freaking birds, baby.
Bye.